So let's talk about the first one. It is the infamous taro. This was my all-time favorite boba drink from them, and I felt like it really tasted like taro. You couldn't even taste the protein. But after getting at least half a dozen bags from them, because as you know, like we get free products as athletes, I feel like the quality has changed a lot and it doesn't really taste like taro anymore, in my opinion. And I feel like it tastes more like a potato or like kind of oily. I don't even know how to describe it when I open the bag. It just smells like it went really bad. And this is literally like a 6-month-old bag. And again, I think if you guys are spending so much money, I think you deserve to know what we really think about it. I sure as heck am glad I didn't spend $50 on this. These are all just leftovers and I haven't finished any of them for many reasons, which we will get into. But yeah, there's other flavors as well. If you want me to talk about it, I will definitely tell you my honest thoughts on it. This is part 2 to why I left Boba Tea Protein and why I didn't renew my contract. Everything was really like what the heck is going on here? So just to make it very clear now, no, things did not end on good terms with Boba Tea Protein. I am no longer friends with Hoang, the owner. If you guys don't know, like the Asian fitness community is quite small and a lot of us know each other. And that's how we became friends, especially because I had helped him with Boba Tea Protein. I helped him like promote his product like for free for years before he actually signed me on as his first athlete. Both him and I are entrepreneurs. He obviously owns Boba Tea Protein. I own a snack company called Pon Snacks, which is a protein biscuit stick, and that is going to be coming out in the next couple months. Right before I left the company, he did try to make me sign an NDA. I declined to sign the NDA, and some other things happened. Some legal things actually did happen, which I will get into more later. Some things are going around where it was like mutual, and I need to make it very clear that it was not. There is a lot of tea, which I will share later. It honestly really sucks to hear a lot of other people, especially women, have not had good experiences. If you have any negative experience with Neil, whether it was through just interactions or whatever it may be with this person, you are not alone. I had trusted Hoang, the founder of Boba Tea Protein, to help me be a strategic consultant for my brand, Pon Snacks. It is a protein biscuit stick. Recently, I have discovered that he is trying to make this product on his own. There's no words to describe what it feels like to see all of your hard work, something that you dreamed of, be mimicked by someone that you really trusted. I want to tell you guys what has happened over the last 2 years. In 2022, I took a solo trip to Japan and I got this idea that I really wanted to make a better for you snack brand. My first product was going to be a protein biscuit stick. I wanted to make snacks that reminded me a lot of my own childhood. A couple months into 2023, I had posted on my close friend's story that I was making this product out of my kitchen. Neil saw that story and he contacted my boyfriend to try to ask him if he could join. I didn't even think twice about this because I had looked up to Neil so much and I respected everything that he built. I couldn't think of anyone better to help me than someone that understood Asian flavors and understood the fitness markets. So we agreed that he would be a consultant for 10% of the company in exchange for a 10% capital contribution. First red flag was when I felt a shift in the power dynamics and Neil kept trying to add a bunch of different things in the operating agreement, which took an entire year of him just constantly doing that, trying to add more power to himself. My lawyer had pointed this out, that a little odd that he was trying to always push these things and he just didn't want anything to harm my company. And it wasn't until I started pushing back on this one clause that he really wanted, was that he wouldn't allow me to do any sort of collaborations with Asian inspired brands without his explicit approval. And I'm not talking about making Asian flavored protein powders that directly compete with him, but literally just making t-shirts or other potentially co-branded non-competing collabs. I tried to clarify what he meant and he shifted the conversation to saying that all these collaborations would not benefit Pon at all, but they would come to a lot of harm to his own brand and that I would benefit the most from just collaborating with him. And when I still didn't agree and tried to ask for more clarification, he responded by giving me threats. He threatened to pull out of the partnership, directly compete with me, and pull his marketing agency connection from working with my boyfriend's company. I figured he knew more than me. What the heck do I know? Even then, it still just didn't sit right with me, and I started to really feel like he was just really working with me to protect Boba Tea Protein rather than help me in Pon. My goal of even making my own business was really just to, one, sell really cute snacks, and two, just have fun building stuff and making good friends along the way. Everything that he was asking of me was the complete opposite of it, and if this was what he wanted from the very beginning, it was never discussed, and I never would have said yes to him in the first place. Fast forward a couple months later, I offered him a proposal that I felt like was really fair, trying to find a middle ground that would make sense for both of us. He started to accuse me of having ulterior motives and that some third party was advising me against him. Usually when I have a call with him, he tends to dominate the conversation, so I just felt more comfortable just talking to him through Discord. He then said that the proposal was completely unreasonable, countering that he would need 50% of the company due to the damage that it would do to Boba Tea Protein if I was allowed to make t-shirts with other brands. He had still contributed $0 to PonPon and only logged 23 hours of consulting over the last 1.5 years. And to my shock, he had contacted one of my previous factories, requested for confidential information about our recipes to try to make our product. And to make matters worse, I found out that he contacted the company that he didn't want me to collaborate with, and he wanted to invest in them, and he didn't tell me about it. Literally around the time that he added a clause that I could not work with other Asian-inspired brands. I told him that I just didn't think that we would be good working together anymore. He interrupted me, and he started to tell me how much I was disrespecting him, that I wasn't thinking straight, and that I needed my boyfriend to come on to the next call so that he could convince me of what he was saying. He began to also psychoanalyze me and talk about why he believes that I didn't want him in the company anymore, that I was just doing this because I have a huge chip on my shoulder and that I have something to prove. I had to just sit there and say anything as Neil just talked to Travis, trying to convince my boyfriend that his girlfriend was just very inexperienced and that he just had to listen to him. And he kept reiterating that this is just how business is, and I would only know that until I got as big as his brand was. Later, we confronted him and told him we knew exactly what he had done and that he contacted my factory to try to make our product. And we proceeded to have our lawyers try to make a mutual release so that we could formally separate. So despite putting no money in and never finalizing the operating agreement, he was requesting for 66 grand for 20 hours of advisorship. 66 grand for doing almost like nothing. 66 grand in order for him to leave PonPon. Of course, did not agree. I still agreed that I would pay him out $10,000 in order for him to no longer be part of the company and we'd have a clean break. And despite him still trying to fight to be in PonPon and still asking me if he could still be part of it, right around Black Friday when we were still talking, he had made a domain called Sugoi Snacks. From what I hear now, he is actually trying to launch this product. He has filed a LLC for Sugoi Snacks. From everything that he has learned from PonPon in the 1.5 years that he was working with me, I mean, I'm just shocked. I wanted to see him succeed so badly for Boba Tea Protein. I became his first athlete. To have him do this and most likely launch before I do because he has more resources and people and time. And I know in business that you will always have competition, but I never expected it to be like this. Suddenly him contacting my factory and trying to put in our mutual release that I just couldn't say anything, and it all makes sense. And I've put so much of my heart and soul into this project for 2.5 years now. And I'm not gonna give up just because of this one person. And I'm just gonna keep trekking forward.